Good evening and welcome back to another episode of The Short Round, all being brought to you by Wicked Fast Attire, of course, streaming live right here on True Cowboy Nation and KFYN 104.3 The River. I'm Katie Dixon, and joining me once again live from Las Vegas, PRCA announcer Chad Nicholson and PRCA bull rider Jay Morrow. Gentlemen, welcome back. Round 2 kicked off last night, getting ready for round 3.
Yes,
it's good to be here.
This is where it all starts. So as we prepare for round 3 tonight, let's recap round 2 again. Now in the bareback, Tanner Austin, Richmond champion, tied for the win last night with 87.5 points. Jay, what was your thoughts on that?
It was a good round last night. You know, there's a limiter, some limiter pinned in there. But Tanner Osbro, Scarlet Fever, flawlessly. It was 87.5. It was good to see him get a good early jump. Richie champion also split that round to 87.5. But Tim O'Connell, number 1 in the world, still in there placing the rounds. He took third last night. But Jake Bold, he's been consistent, getting some money, and he's number 1 in that average race. So he's putting his name in the mix.
Yeah, I was gonna pick Tanner Ross last night because that Scarlet Fever horse, I had seen that horse in Lexington, Kentucky in June, and they won a bunch of money on it. That's a good horse.
Let's move on to the steer wrestling. Tanner Milan won it with a 3.5. Chad, how exciting was that?
You know, Tanner Milan, these Milan boys out of Canada, they're the toughest they come up there, them and the Cassidys. And you know, Tanner Milan, it's just a matter of time. The steers were some guys were having some problems last night. Bob Foster and I were talking about that today during our business meeting on the golf course here in Las Vegas, and he was talking about how the guys were kind of overriding their horses and having some problems with the steers. So hopefully they'll get that worked out.
I feel like if we ever decide to be steer wrestlers, we need to request Scooter because it seems like Scooter is the winning horse. Let's move on to the team roping, Chad. Dustin Bird and Russell Cardoza with a 3.9 last night.
3.9. You know, here's the thing about the team roping. There are 8 teams out of the average right now. And it's like when we were picking yesterday. And I'll pick just like I'm picking roulette in the team roping for the rest of the week because you just don't know. Anybody can win the team rope.
And there's 5 no times last night in the team roping. And that's why you see number 1 in the world, Caleb Driggers, trying to fish on his loop on that steer. He didn't settle in there. They got it fished on. They got a time for 22.2 seconds. It's a long time, but they caught. Most important thing for that average. But Clay Smith and Paul Eves knocked on the door. Number 2 in the world, number 1 in the average.
We see that in tie-down roping too, and I'm sure a lot of people wonder why they go for that second rope. That's exactly why right there. Moving on to the saddle bronc riding, Coburn Bradshaw, 89.5 points last night. Jay, that was an exciting run.
It was. Coburn is on fire. He was 87 the night before, night 1. He's number 1 in the average. Wins the round last night and ties the round win for the highest mark ride ever in Thomas and Mack Center. But Jacobs Crawley, number 1 in the world, got a score, but it took it away because he missed his horse out. Rider Right did the same thing. And, you know, there's a limiter pin last night. We had 8 buck-offs. You don't see it in the bronc riding, especially the top 15 guys in the world. So an average race can be a big effect also.
You can never bet against Coburn Bradshaw. I did, but I'm not going to bet against him tonight.
Well, he has that. Yeah. And he has that right style because he is a brother-in-law to one of the rights. So they all ride a lot alike, and they are dominant. So I look forward to Coburn putting, a chase on Jacobs because he's number 1 in the average right now.
And speaking of picking winners each round, Jay, you picked Trevor Brazil for the tie-down roping last night, and lo and behold, he won with 7.4 seconds. Not as quick as some of the times we've seen, but a win's a win.
Hey, it's a win and win. And Trevor, he's here to stay, and he's looking for that 24th all-around title, and this is going to get him to that number right there. Yeah, 7.4 last night. But Cade Swore, he's the one that's impressing me. He was 8-1 on night 1. He was 7.7 tonight. What people don't know is his horse 2 weeks ago got a little stored up, had a fester foot, so he had to buy a new horse. So he buy a new horse just 2 weeks ago from Marty Yates named Yakko. This is a Gordy Alderson horse. His very first PRCA performance ever was at the Thompson Mack at the NFR, and he takes second place. So that's going to be interesting to look, but he has a good chemistry so far. They placed 2 out of 2 rounds. That's going to be interesting.
Speaking of Trevor Brazil and his win last night, it's actually put him in the lead, $58,000. ahead of his brother-in-law, Tough Cooper, now for the all-around. Now, we've seen it before, 58,000, it really isn't a lot when it comes down to money in the Thomas and Mack Arena, but every bit counts.
When you can win 26,000 per round and 67,000 for the average, 58,000 is not a very big jump to just just push over Tough. And Trevor's been here. This is his 67th career win in the Thomas and Mack, so he's no stranger.
He is not. Let's move on to the barrels. Amberly Moore won last night with a 13.54. Now these times are getting a little bit quicker, and it was great to see Amberly come out last night. She didn't have the best first round, but she certainly made up for it last night. Chad, what was your thoughts on that?
Well, she certainly did. It's the dirt is settling. We'll talk about this every night, how the dirt is finally settling down. The horses are getting used to the big crowds.
Well, it's a very small arena here at Thomas and Mack, and they're coming in blind to the arena, so they can't see it. But Tiani's horse is not, as of now, developing very well as far as this little pin. It's a bigger horse. So she might have to switch horses or switch something up. But Amberly Moore has had great success last year. I'm picking her for tomorrow night's win as well if she gets top of the ground. If she takes some round win tonight, Brittany Posey, Tanazi, 13.62, took second. And then Haley Kinzel and Nellie Miller, she's sneaking in there, wins round one last night, takes fourth tonight. She is number 2 in the average, sneaking up there.
Let's move on to the main event, an event I know both you guys are anxious to talk about, a little bull riding. Chad, I hate to say this, but Jay called it again. Garrett Smith won last night with 87 points. You're going to have to catch up, Chad.
Yes, he did. He did. And, I know the Smith family. And I know. I was watching it. Gosh, he beat me again. But you know what? I'm taking Garrett Smith tonight. I'm taking Garrett Smith because he's got Jack Shot from Powder River Rodeo. I got 2 picks in the bull riding, Jay, because I got to get back. Well, yeah. And I know in the bull riding last night, Joe Frost continues to ride effortlessly. You watch him ride, it's like his body is just in slow motion, where Roscoe Jarbo and some of these guys are just so amped up and, just everything going on in their mind and body and trying to, they seem to be a little behind the ride, where Joe is just right there. He's a guy to watch all week long. As long as he can stay healthy, he's going to be really high in that average.
Joe rides very solid foundation, no wasted movements. So that's what you're talking about, no extra movements. He don't need them, so he don't use them. But Garrett Smith takes around win with 87 on a Raptor G bull named Jay Lazy. That's the 3rd time this year that Garrett showed that bull. I had a little inside knowledge, maybe Chad, you did, so that's why I got the win on that. But Sage Kinsey and Joe Frost take split second and third, 86.5. But Trey Benton took fourth, 85.5. He's number 1 in the average on this juiced up pinners tonight. Watch out for Trey. He could sneak in. He's 100,000 behind Sage, but with so much money left in 8 days, it could happen.
Well, round 3 tonight in the Thomas and Mack Arena. I know more and more people are rolling into Las Vegas now. So, gentlemen, thanks once again for joining us tonight. Of course, we're going to check back in tomorrow for a recap of round 3. We will post your picks for tonight also. But thanks once again. Have a fantastic night.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Thanks so much for joining us again right here on the Short Round, all being brought to you by Wicked Fast Attire. Check them out. They have a booth down at the Sands Expo Center and at the Las Vegas Convention Center as well, or you can go to wickedfastattire.com. For Chad, Jay, and myself, Katie Dixon, thanks for joining us tonight right here on the Short Round.